Welcome back. It's Monday. I'm a little under the weather. I believe I have the flu. Uh, Feeling pretty crappy. But we are in the midst of doing work because, hey, it's 2023. Let's get started. This rear end's ready to come out. My compressor new pump is already on, and I found out that my capacitor on it had melted, so that's still not going to be going for a while. Cut the U-bolts on this one after laying on the ground trying to unbolt it like an idiot. So it's already loose. So now I gotta just do the swap. But as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Continue watching. As I've done posted on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, this year's all about the travel. Every single dollar I make is going to that travel. I am getting that baby running and driving. Might not be perfect, but I would like to make it to September 8th LS Fest in Bowling Green, which is like 200 miles from here. I'm in a good spot for that. I'm like 70 miles. Nah, I'd say it's probably 100 miles from Rod Run. I'm like probably 70 miles from what's it called? Summer Nights. I'm 300 miles from Good Guys. I'm in a good spot to hit these big shows. And that's the only way this YouTube is gonna grow, is if I get something out there with the Big Guy Garage all over it, riding around, showing off, going, hey, here's what I built, So like, share, and subscribe, and let's get back to work here pulling these rear ends. I probably won't film much of it because it's literally just heavy lifting, and I feel like crap. So let's get busy. Tomorrow, before I stop here, tomorrow I will probably be back out at Potter's working on a Dodge Ram, like a 16, 17 model. Probably won't film much of that. That's the one I showed you last week with the melted dash and everything. But also the carburetor for the other 47 is supposed to be there. He did get a 3100 Chevy. Might end up working on that a little bit too. Don't know. Depends on what he's doing with it. But let's do some more rear end stuff. Alright, I got this one out. Got the other one out. Now I just got to carry that thing in here and flop it in there. Take a break here. This stuff's heavy. Sweating down bullets already. It's like 60 degrees outside again today. Welcome to Kentucky. You get your 3 days of winter and it's done. But we'll probably get some wicked bad storms this year. Anywho, yeah, put that in. I'm going to clean the U-bolts that came off of this frame and reuse them because I cut the other ones. Hopefully get them cleaned up real good to where the nuts will go on easy and I can just torque them with the breaker bar or torque them with a torque wrench, whatever, whichever way I decide to do it. All this e-brake crap's got to get cut at least back to there. These are the pads and shocks off of the original frame because these shocks are like brand new KYBs, but I just said, screw it, use that whole thing. Now I'm going to rest. So there we go. New rear end's in. Well, new old. It's in. I still got to hook up the shocks, run the brake line, do the vent for the rear end. But 3-inch spacers are on. Wheels are back on. It's sitting on the ground. Finally. Whew. That's some tough work. My forearms are burning. You just forget how much you love air tools when you got to do it manually again. But all that's done. So let's get... I'm probably going to call it today. I'm done. I'm wore out. A little sickly and it's making me weak. But I'm happy with this progress today. Tomorrow I'll probably button up all these little things, undo the e-brake and cut them off the rest of the way on both sides, hook up the vent, clean out the brake line, hook up the brake line, and then we'll be ready to start working on the bed. Well, I might not do it tomorrow, but the next day I'm out here, so I'm going. Alright, so as I said the other day, I had stuff to do on Tuesday. So, now Wednesday, I'm going to quickly button up the shocks and brake line and everything like that. Get it done. My compressor's still sitting here. My buddy Scott got the capacitor I needed, but I just haven't went and got it yet. I might do that later tonight. As for today, though, let's, again, button up this completely. Shocks, brake line, vent. And at that point, we will be ready to start putting the bed on and test fitting, and hopefully it'll fit. But well, I've already said it before, probably going to have to put tubs in. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But, yeah. Let's knock out these shocks, knock out everything that will be better than reaching over the bed to do. Basically, it's easier to do it now than it is to do it later. Let's get at it. Alright, so I've got the bed pretty much sat on. You saw me. I had to cut the back frame off. It was like 4 inches. No big deal. I got quite a bit of gap here right now, but not really nothing major. I think it's fine. What I'm going to do is there is panels that bolt onto the front here, and those usually line up directly with the bottom of the cab. So that's how I'm going to get my height. And what I think I'm going to have to do is end up notching in here a little bit more, because it's touching on both sides. And I definitely want to be able to adjust it left and right. But as far as the wheel spacing, it's pretty close. But I think I'm actually a little long now, which is hilarious. But we can drill out the holes bigger on the fender to give us a little bit room to, you know, move it back and forth and not affect anything. So really the gap here is going to depend on your running boards. Now on this particular Studebaker, actually all of the Studebakers this year, they bolt to the front but not to the rear. Now a lot of them bolt to each one. They don't on these. So I'll have to put one of the step rails supports here, and the other one will be probably about here on the door, because that's where you'll mostly step. Maybe over here. But that's about how that is. Yeah, so I'm going to bolt on these panels on both sides, see where I'm at. Now right now it is literally sitting on the brake drums. It's hilarious. I've never seen stuff like this. Usually stuff either is too small or just way too big, which this is way too big, but you got the 3-inch spacers on the rear, and I'm still going to have to tub it. I'm just going to do like a 2-inch tub, because we're going to get a trailer fender, so it'll be trailer fender. It's a fender. Anyway, we'll get that and tub her out after the bed's practically where it needs to be, because I don't want to do it and cut that out and it just to be like, you know, flopping in the wind. But anywho, I'm going to bolt these on. Alright, so this is not looking good. And what I mean by that is we put the 3-inch spacers on, okay, and it still rubs. We sort of figured we had to tub it. But the way it looks now is we're going to have to run some 2-inch spacers because it's rubbing the inner fender. So, that's no bueno. So, we're going to have to do bigger tubs and less spacer. So, that's great. So, I need to get a hold of the owner and tell him I need to order some 2-inch spacers ASAP. As far as tire in the well look, it looks fine. I've got it sitting directly smooth with this cab corner, which is usually about how they are. The bed's a little twisty. Cab's a little twisty. Everything's a little twisty, you know. But, yeah, we're going to have to definitely de-space and adjust. And I need to get the running board over here and take a look at it too. Because that fender on the back might actually have to come forward some. It's hard to tell. There's not much. I mean, man, it looks bent in half. Them fenders are so weird on here. Like, I mean, so weird. That's how they're supposed to point. They're supposed to point rounded toward each other. Or rounded supposed to both face forward, but it don't look right. But anyway, let's get fender, or a step rail. I'm not sure if, I think these are exactly the same front and rear, so. Get this over here. I don't have any more jack stands, so I'm gonna stand it up in between and see that we are about where we need to be, really. It just floats back there and it touches this one all the way. So I don't think I can hold it one-handed. Nope, it's too awkward. But yeah, actually I think it'll touch them both. So anywho, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, let's make a call here. And that means I'm going to have to wait again for spacers, and then the tubs, which are trailer fenders. We'll get them tomorrow or the next day. And I'll start working on cutting out some, if not most, of the space behind there. Because the wheel's way down here, so I can cut it pretty high. Yes, sir. But definitely going to need a wheel tub. Well, while now I'm going to be waiting for spacers again, I am going to start disassembling all of this older stuff on the dash, because like this, don't need it. I'm going to ask about the center vent. Oh, well, that's plastic. See if he wants to retain that. This is going to go. This is for the hood release, I believe, which I may never get to work again. This is your e-brake on these things. It's definitely going. Heater, I might leave this, but take the rest. I'll probably unbolt this. Leave that. Leave that. I never had that. So, yeah. And after I strip all that stuff out, I'm going to start figuring out the steering column and the gauges. Steering column, I think, on this is going to be pretty easy. It's literally a U-bolt, which I just had and don't know what I did with it. Actually, I think it's sitting on top. If it is, I can't reach it. But anyway, it's just a U-bolt that holds the steering column to the bottom of the dash. That's it. Nothing special. As far as the gauges go, I'm probably going to have to make something modern looking on here to hold the gauges, and hope it works. The wipers will come off. I'll probably keep that though, like not here, but I'll just keep it. Yeah, and then after that it's literally everything else. Oh, this thing had chicken lights on it, so I welded it up. Good. Chicken lights are stupid. Yeah, so let's start unbolting all this garbage. Alright, so now I gotta do something fun. Not fun. I've got to fit my big block up in here, which is me, my big block, up in here, and try to unscrew the flathead screws out of the back of this dash. Oh, this ain't gonna be fun. I've got everything else basically off. We are keeping the vent functional for now. But, God, I got a sneeze coming on. Hold on one second. Yeah, I gotta get that out before I can work on anything else. The little heat lever that came out of here, I might turn it into the hood pop. Phew, come on now. A lot of dust in here, you know. Oh, here's what we use to hold the columns on. We just up in there, so that's what I'm basically working on probably for the rest of today, is getting that out, bringing the giant cluster out of the S10 over. I got the other harness getting ready to go in. Yeah, just a million things to figure out. I need to mount the other ECM over here somewhere. Yeah, we'll figure that out. I've got to, I can't really mount it. I don't know if there's a double plate. Okay, yeah, there is. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to mount it to the inside kick panel here. Try to hide it as high up as I can. And we'll go from there. Alright, so I got the whole dash stripped out. If anybody's looking for some Studebaker gauges, I don't think they're going to do you any good, but yeah. They're not going back in here. The S10 gauges are going in here. But my biggest problem right now is they're literally like from here to the bottom of the dash. And I need the bottom of the dash to hook the steering up to. Yeah, so a lot of measuring and marking and cutting's about to happen. So, as you can see, this monstrosity of gauges has to fit in here and be visible. Yeah. Okay. So, it's about 7 inches tall and 13 wide. 13 wide, easy. 7 tall, it's actually pretty easy. The problem is that it's got to be able to get this one plug in, and it's got to be able to get nothing. I don't have to worry about nothing here. And it's got to take, it's got to sit in there. Now, the top will clip up in here, but the sides will then be open. Oh, hold on, let me show you. The top will clip up in here, but then the sides will be open. Well, they won't technically be open, but they will be open. I might have to weld in some pieces here on both sides. And the bottom, I can keep the center for sure. Actually, I can keep this whole section. I might have to notch it here to let this white part sit. I can't cut this side off because, of course, that's where the ribbon goes. So, I need to try to figure out our center on here, our center on here, how much I can cut on each side, and go from there. And it's not going to be easy, not at all. That's a tight fit for as big as them gauges are to get in here, be visible, and not look like total horse dookie. And there's still a rod in here I need to pull out, and I'm probably going to have to cut this vent right here off. Because there's, well, actually it might not be in the way. You might still be able to use that. But this is my last major hurdle, I think, is getting this in. At that point, it's running all my wiring and hiding it, putting a fuse box somewhere, putting the 2 computers in here somewhere, which there's still a lot of space back here, and, hoses and stuff. But this is the major. Once this is done, I can hook up the hoses and trans lines, put the battery in it, and see if it'll run. That's a big hurdle. If it runs, oh, lovely. If it don't run, then I got to figure out why it won't run when it ran when it came in here. So that's my other big hurdle. Then at that point, it's going to be figuring out the heat and AC box. But it's a lot of stuff still to do, but not really. So, well, working on the other 47 Studebaker, we got the carby in today, the old toilet bowl. But studs on here are not long enough, so I'm gonna have to pull them out. Vice grip time. Alright, got the toilet bowl on. It's ready to go. Old quadra jump. It's all hooked up. Linkages are all hooked up. Now I just gotta figure out what to do about this battery. And we'll go from there with starting it. Yep. Let's see what we can get happening here. Could it look any cooler with the way it's filming it?
Ocean. Ocean.
Yeah, Ocean don't know nothing about what's going on here.
There's a lot of people on YouTube and stuff freaking out right now. I can't believe you're not wearing a hood.
Oh, I don't even wear glasses.
Oh.
They get on there, oh, how can you even see? I'm like, oh, pretty good. So we got the exhaust welded, and now we're working on bleeding the brakes. Luckily, all the brake bleeders broke free easy, but the fluid that's coming out is thicker than 10W30. And he was pumping it, and we've got no pedal now, so we might have lost our brake booster. Let's hope not. But he had to go get more brake fluid, and we're gonna continue bleeding it, and then we're gonna check that master cylinder out, or not the master cylinder, the brake booster. This sucks. Wah, wah. But we'll continue bleeding, and we'll go from there. It has not been a fun day. So, as you can see, carburetor's off again. But if you notice, that's brand new too. Our master cylinder went out. It was only pumping the backs. The front wasn't working at all. So, new master cylinder. This is a weird gasket setup. We were actually told that they made like 7 or 8 different kind of intakes for the quadra junk. This one has a metal shim in it, and then another gasket, which, I mean, these come separately built onto a gasket, and it covers all of your port. Ours wasn't, so we had to go get that. Actually, we left it at the store because we were like, it's garbage, we don't need it. We needed it. But anywho, that's done. I bench bled the brakes, put them on, so now they're ready to bleed again, which it was like snot coming out of it anyway. Now we just got to put the other carburetor on, the new one, which we had set up for that giant vacuum leak, so yay. We'll have to detune it, and after that we should be good to go. I'm going to hook up a vacuum we got in the back here. This vacuum right back there. We got a different nipple for it, and we're going to split it off because it wasn't doing good. It was barely hanging on there for, dear life. It was for the modulator valve on the 350 trans and for the brake booster. And you want them to be good for sure. So I'm going to hook them up. Well, all right. Huh, only the right side's smoking. That's strange. So I'm trying to get some stuff done today. I've been looking since yesterday for some trailer fender to make tubs on this. Nobody has any trailer fenders right now. Not local anyway. I'm going to have to go a distance and get some. Great. I'm also working on this. I have the pump, the belt, and everything hooked up now. I have to go get my capacitor tonight. My buddy Scott got it. I got a quart of oil for this. Yeah, right. This thing takes like 3 quarts of oil. So I went and bought a gallon. Other than that, once I get that on, get oil in it, get it back in the room and hook it up, it'll be good. But this particular pump uses galvanized style 3/4 14 fittings. So 3/4 14 to half inch was an MIP to half-inch compression to run the old line to hook back up to everything in here. Yay. Not really. It's a mess. 57-inch belt on here. This motor turns at like 3,000 RPM, so this is supposed to be 1,000 to get it to 15. So if it's 3 times that, this thing might actually put out like crazy amounts of air. After I get this done to the point where I have to stop, I am going to work on getting the other harness in here. And the owner has decided not to use them because he don't want me cutting this dash all to pieces and trying to make it look halfway decent. which is hard to do when it's so many different shapes. So he's just opted to run the 3 gauges in here, which is oil, volts, and temp. So I have to get one of those and put in here. That's easy peasy. And after that, we're going to start hooking up things like the steering column and the radiator hoses, trans lines. We do have to check on a drive shaft. And at that point, we're pretty much done wiring up the headlights. And it should be good. Start her up, be gone, be paid. But I'm going to continue filling this thing up. And got some other things happening that some of you might not agree with. Some of you might agree with. Some of you might even think I'm special. Like, special needs. But I'm telling you, it's for the good. I'll talk about that once it happens, if it happens. Alright, so the end of the video this week's just basically putting that capacitor on. I'm going to turn the breaker on, come back out here and flick the switch and see what happens. Hopefully it works. Hopefully I don't have it on wrong. And if it does, tomorrow I'll try to figure out a different cap because this one no longer fits. That capacitor is a lot bigger. So let's go turn the breaker on and we'll see what's popping. Here we go. If I die right now from electrocution, somebody finish something of mine. At least. Working. Building air. Let's check back in a minute. So that's basically it for this week. It's Sunday. I'm getting my camera to finish out the video, or make the video. The bed is pretty close to on. Just gotta tub it. Then I gotta cut the front and basically mount it. The dash is stripped. Don't have much to do there now. You don't want to put the big gauges in it. He wants to just put, the oil, volts, and temp. Easy peasy. Other than that, the interior is pretty much done because there's no radio, there's no heat and AC, there's no anything like that. A headlight switch and that's it. Other than that, we hook up the radiator hoses and trans lines, double check all the wiring, do the headlights, tail lights, put a battery somewhere, and that'll basically be it. Pretty easy. Not much left to do. The problem I'm having right now is finding everything. And what I mean by that is, like, nobody has trailer vendors right now to do the tubs. I haven't looked for the 3 gauges yet. I'm pretty sure those are going to be easy to find. They're usually everywhere. Usually. But, thanks for watching. Tomorrow we're going to get started on it again and hammer into it real good. Other than that, it's moving pretty good. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.